Good evening and welcome to the April 6th edition of KSC TV News. I'm Matt Dudley.
And I'm Alyssa Salerno. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Police want people parking on campus to be careful about their cars.
That's because of a recent auto theft that happened on campus property in broad daylight. On March 24th, a car was stolen out of the Winchester parking lot on campus. Car thieves didn't get far, but they did break into the car and were able to drive it out of the lot. Campus safety says car thefts are not common on campus, but we should do our best to keep our cars safe.
Really, anybody's looking to do something like this, break into a car, they're looking for an easy target. So it's a matter of, first and foremost, just locking your doors. That's the best thing you can do, and try not to hide a key somewhere that somebody's going to find it. Make sure you leave valuables away from the windows so that, you know, when somebody's looking inside of a car, they don't see a laptop bag or anything that would give them some indication that there's something valuable in there.
It is also a good idea for students to park their cars in well-lit areas. Crossman says the suspects have not yet been apprehended, but Campus Safety has posted pictures of the suspects on their Facebook page.
The Department for Children, Youth and Families is putting new policies in place to protect children affected by the opioid crisis. The policies call for more intervention for infants and toddlers who are at risk. Under the new policies, families with infants or toddlers exposed to substance abuse must have at least 4 face-to-face visits with a caseworker. The Child Protection Agency announced that its workers will be working overtime to close thousands of open cases. A man in Brattleboro is under mental evaluation after a brief standoff with police. The Sentinel reports the 27-year-old man called Brattleboro police Monday afternoon and told them he had a handgun and was going to commit suicide in his home. The first officers on the scene could not make contact with the man until a family member arrived. After about an hour, the man agreed to come out and was taken into protective custody.
Last weekend, we got another one of those classic New England snowstorms. KSC TV's Ariana Belcito reports on how people in Keene dealt with this spring storm.
Just as we begin spring, we get another snowstorm. People on Appian Way seem to be taking it in stride.
This made it real difficulty driving around last night and this morning. It's going to be pretty sweet for skiing though tomorrow. But I'd rather have this turn into spring than eventually summer.
I think it's kind of unexpected, but also like we live in New England, so I kind of saw it coming. But it's really slippery outside. It's kind of hard to walk around. And it would be nice if it was warmer.
Despite the storm, a group of Keene State College interns still made it to New York for an organized trip. Student Olivia Sloan said a trip that was supposed to be a 3-hour drive turned into a 6-hour drive.
People were spinning out of control. We had to drive practically half the speed limit because the bus driver expressed how he was afraid that if we were too close to other cars, they would spin out into us.
Let's hope this is our last snowstorm as we are entering spring. I'm Ariana Belcito. This is KSC TV.
The little bit of snow that remains probably won't be around for long. Temperatures next week will make it up to the 60s and maybe even the 70s.
The late season snowstorms are a dream come true for skiers. WMRUR reports 9 of the 37 ski areas in New Hampshire will be open this weekend. The base depths for those ski areas have been reported as deep as 46 inches. Operators say that this has been one of the snowiest and most successful seasons in recent years.
Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway will be heading to New Hampshire soon. On Tuesday, the New Hampshire GOP announced the White House counselor will be the keynote speaker for their Spring to Victory dinner on May 18th. The dinner will be at the Radisson Hotel in Nashua. Keene State College seniors will be graduating soon and looking for jobs, but statistics suggest they could be looking for a while. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports New Hampshire has currently the lowest unemployment rate in the country at 2.7%. At a recent job fair on campus, nearly 100 companies came to talk to students. But students noticed very few of those companies were from New Hampshire.
Jobs of people that are here right now, I mean, a lot of them from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York, like stuff like that, and very limited few from New Hampshire, to be honest, but we'll see how it works out.
Statistically, New Hampshire has one of the oldest populations in the country. Politicians from both parties say more needs to be done to attract business, young workers, and young families to the state.
Students looking for jobs are getting some help here on campus. The Your Future Fair came to KSC's Spalding Gymnasium on March 23rd. This job and internship fair was put on by the Academic of Career Advising Office. The size of the fair has grown over the years in terms of the number of employers that are present. The event hosted a wide variety of different employers.
This weekend, the American Red Cross is offering volunteer training sessions called Disaster Boot Camp. The Sentinel reports Disaster Boot Camp is meant to teach people vital skills in becoming a disaster responder. The boot camps will begin tomorrow at the Keene Red Cross office from 6 to 9:30 p.m. For more information or to register, call Edward Blanchard at 603-513-9895. Again, that's 603-513-9895.
There is a new program at KSC that is aiming to improve nutrition habits of students. The Health for Center and Wellness is offering a nutrition coaching program to KSC students and faculty. This service is confidential and provides nutrition education to anyone looking to improve their eating habits on or off campus. The program is 4 sessions and involves personal goal setting and creative strategies to best meet your individual goals.
Provide one resource, how to navigate the DC and the whole campus food system. We work a lot with student athletes, so how to enhance performance. Whether you have a pre-existing medical condition that is under control, but you're wanting to know how to adjust your diet, we can work with you with that as well.
If you want to know more about the nutrition coaching program, there are weekly tables in the Student Center. You can also find out more through the Center for Health and Wellness website. 7th grader Abhinav Govindarayu is the winner of the 2017 New Hampshire Geographic Bee. This is the second year in a row Abhinav was crowned the Geographic Bee champion. Abhinav will be traveling to Washington, D.C. expense-free in May to compete in the National Geographic Bee.
Keene State College is showing support for transgender students. Recently, the college celebrated the Transgender Day of Visibility. People wrote letters to transgender inmates living in solitary confinement. Also, people could change their profile pictures on Facebook to show solidarity. Dante Diffendale is a transgender student who says he feels comfortable here. Diffendale was born female but identifies as male. He says being transgender doesn't make him any different than other students on campus.
Society might have already been in bathrooms with trans people and they have no clue. You know, and you probably know, people probably know more trans people than they realize they know, and they have no clue.
If students are looking for more information, they can go to the Office of the Multicultural Student Support, located on the 2nd floor of the Student Center. A new organization on campus is raising money for cancer patients. KSC TV's Savannah Balkan introduces us to the Love Your Melon crew.
You may have seen a new fashion trend on Keene State campus. Students wearing beanies. These beanies are being sold by the nonprofit organization Love Your Melon. Love Your Melon sells these hats and other apparel to raise money for pediatric cancer patients.
So personally, I would say helping cancer patients, specifically children, is important to me because I could never imagine dealing with a child battling cancer. I couldn't imagine my own kid looking at me at any given time and asking if they were going to make it or not.
Recently, they have met some of these young cancer patients, or as they call them, superheroes.
My favorite part about being in this organization is just seeing the smile it brings to the kids' faces and just knowing I'm helping pediatric cancer and hopefully finding the cure for it soon.
Kelly says that they are now coordinating Superhero Day to have another visit with some of the patients. To support Love Your Melon, you can get yourself one of these beanies right here on campus, or you can also go online. Savannah Balkan, KSC TV.
You can go online and purchase apparel at loveyourmelon.com. Again, that's loveyourmelon.com. We now know who is headlining the spring concert. We'll tell you who it is in a bit.
And students stressing out at the end of the semester are finding relief thanks to some four-legged friends. These stories are coming up on our Appian Way Today report. You're watching KSC TV.
The spring concert is just around the corner.
Catherine Glosser has this story and more for us in this week's Appian Way Today report. Catherine?
The 27th spring concert lineup is set. Mac Miller will headline the April 28th show. This year, the Social Activities Council surveyed the student body for input on the show. The survey had 15 options, and SAC narrowed that down to Mac Miller as the best choice. Mac Miller, a rapper from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has been on 7 tours and is most notable for his gold-certified album Blue Slide Park, as well as other hit singles including Donald Trump, Knock Knock, Loud, and Party on Fifth Avenue. The announcement has so far received positive responses.
I would say about 98% of what we've heard has all been positive, but there are always people that are upset with our concert because it's really hard to please everyone, and that's why we put the survey out there, because the survey is really the way that Keene State students can get their voice heard.
You can order your tickets now at KSCTix.com. Again, that's KSCTix.com. The concert will be held on Friday, April 28th in Spalding Gym at 7 p.m. The semester is quickly coming to a close, and stress among college students is at an all-time high. Being able to take a break from studying is important for many. KSC TV's Emma Hamilton reports on the special guests who came to campus last week to relieve this stress for students.
Dog face, wagging tails, playing fetch are all sure to melt the blues away. Students can't wipe the smiles off their faces while spending time with a furry friend.
We all know that if you like a dog, that having a chance to pet a dog or spend time around a dog just makes you feel better. And let's face it, when somebody wags their tail at you, you have to feel better.
That's why Keene State's fraternity, Sigma Pi, hosted Sigma Puppies for the campus community members last week. This event was part of the altruistic campus experience project that the fraternity is affiliated with.
Trying to find a way to make it relevant to college students, so we decided to focus on raising awareness about college students.
Hasbaka says their fraternity is required to host one event a year that benefits the campus community. According to Healthline, 1 out of 4 college students suffers from some form of mental illness, including depression. Having dogs as therapy on campus was Sigma Pi's way to help alleviate that stress for KSC students.
Everybody is smiling and laughing and petting dogs and having a great time, and just I am seeing so many smiles and giggles. It's just great.
Abel says Monadnock Humane Society has been bringing dogs to campus for 5 to 6 years. They love Keene State students and the way their dogs have an impact on them.
I think everyone gets super excited when they hear about the dogs.
Having dogs here on campus for students to be able to pet and play with makes it so that they can de-stress a little bit and have a furry friend. Emma Hamilton, KSC TV.
If you need to reduce your stress and the therapy dogs are not on campus, the Counseling Center is available to all students Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. That's your Appian Way Today report. I'm Catherine Glosser.
Coming up in sports, we'll check in on the women's lacrosse team.
And baseball is back. Find out how the first week has gone for the Red Sox. Sports is next. You're watching KSC TV.
Spring sports are starting to pick up now that the snow is melting. Cameron Moser has updates on your favorite teams.
Cameron?
The Keene State women's lacrosse team is off to a rough start, but they've shown some signs of life recently. The team defeated Western Connecticut State University by a score of 13-7. In the first half, KSC sophomore Chelsea Lewis and senior Taylor Graff both scored 2 goals each, with Tora Weinstock scored a goal of her own. In the second half, KSC junior Taylor Farland scored 5 goals in a stand-up performance that helped the Owls seal the win. Farland also had 2 assists in the game, giving her a career-high 7-point game. Head coach Katie Arsenault said Farland's game brings more to the team than just scoring.
Her transition game is such a big piece for us, that she really gets things started, and yes, she can beat a defender 1-on-1 and she can take it to net, and that's great, but she does so much more than just that. So I hope that I think she realizes that too, but I guess for me, that stands out more than kind of what she puts in the back of the net.
The Owls' win against Western Connecticut State is their first conference win of the season. The North Carolina Tar Heels are the national champions of NCAA men's basketball. The Heels beat Gonzaga 71-65 Monday night in Phoenix. Though they trailed at the half, Carolina came back in the second half. Justin Jackson scored the go-ahead three-point play with 1:40 on the clock, and North Carolina pulled away with the victory. This is North Carolina's 6th men's basketball national championship. The Boston Red Sox are undefeated. They've only played 2 games, but they've gotten the best of the Pirates in the 3-game home opener. Last night, Sandy Leon hit a walk-off 3-run homer in the 12th inning for a 3-0 win. Chris Sale, acquired from the Chicago White Sox, was unable to get the win, but looked good for Boston as they pulled out with the victory. Sale struck out 7, gave up 3 hits, and gave up 1 walk over 7 scoreless innings. Today's Game 3 is postponed due to the rain. That's a look at sports this week. I'm Cameron Moser.
Up next, we'll show you a special rescue farm for some big animals.
Don't go anywhere. You're watching KSC TV.
A horse sanctuary in Winchester is giving new life to draft horses. KCTV's Justin Mahan gives us an in-depth look at this facility.
While most hide from the snow in New Hampshire, these horses are loving this opportunity to run free. For some, it's their first time experiencing freedom here at Draft Gratitude. And for people like Rebecca Roy, allowing these horses to feel safe and loved is something she's passionate about.
I wanted to figure out how to make this happen, and I'd work on it and then get busy and then work on it and get busy, and finally just got down to business, and here we are 3 years later.
Draft Gratitude is a rescue facility for draft horses and mules like Rosie here from being sent to slaughter. Rebecca says that in the year 2015 alone, there were over 130 draft horses from the United States shipped around the world to be slaughtered. The horses that they received come from mainly Pennsylvania and New York farming communities. Even though there are many rescues for horses in the United States, there are very few in the U.S. specifically for draft horses.
Some of those, or many of those, won't take drafts because they can't accommodate the size. So it was important to me that if we were going to do this, it's just for drafts.
Draft Gratitude runs mainly on donations, a majority of which come from individual gifts. Those donations go toward every horse's well-being, including food, cleaning, and veterinary care. Right now, there are 11 horses at Draft Gratitude, and that number continues to grow. Justin Mahan, KSC TV.
If you would like to donate to Draft Gratitude, you can visit their website at draftgratitude.com. Again, that's draftgratitude.com. That's all for this edition of KCTV. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back next week at the same time. We'll see you then and have a good evening.